The murder squad's operations followed a specific pattern that investigators later pieced together through phone records, witness testimony, and surveillance footage. Hunts often began at gatherings where gang members came together to remember someone who had died, either a fellow gang member or a loved one. As they sat together mourning, someone would suggest they go hunting to commemorate the deceased to lift their spirits. Once they decided to go on a hunt, they'd organize into a two-vehicle convoy system. The first vehicle was the security and spotter car. This vehicle would patrol the streets of Salinas with gang members scanning for potential targets. Hispanic males, often bald or wearing blue clothing. Sometimes just being in the wrong neighborhood was enough to mark someone as a target. As a reminder, blue is the color of the Sureños, the Norteños' biggest rival. The second vehicle carried the shooters. They'd be on the conference call listening for updates about where the target was. When they got the location, they'd drive to the spot, exit the vehicle, and open fire.
In the 100 block of Paloma Avenue, his identity has not been released. The victim was outside of the home using his phone when he was confronted by at least two people shortly after shots were fired.
After the shooting, the killers would jump back into the vehicle and speed away, while the security vehicle positioned itself to block police or serve as a lookout. In 2016, a Norteño gang member named Fabian Alvarado shot and killed a man named Mario Puga on the 300 block of Block Avenue in Salinas. It was one of the early killings that established the pattern of violence that would define the murder squad era. Alvarado was eventually convicted and sentenced to 57 years to life in prison in December of 2017. On January 12, 2017, Siaki Tavale, Andrew Alvarado, Mark Anthony Garcia, and others went hunting and drove to Sunrise Street, where they came across a group of Hispanic men standing outside a house party. The shooters opened fire on the group, hitting 4 men. 2 of them survived, but 27-year-old Jose Luis Flores Vargas and 25-year-old Alejandro Ramirez were killed. There was no evidence any of the victims were gang members. After the shooting, the murder squad members led police on a high-speed chase before crashing their vehicle and fleeing on foot. On February 11, 2017, John Rodzak was at the Hebron Heights Community Center in Salinas when he was gunned down. The shooter was Luis Ataide, another Norteño gang member who operated alongside the murder squad. Ataide himself would later be convicted and sentenced to 50 years to life in March of 2022. The very next day, February 12th, 2 Salinas residents were targeted on Orchard Street. The shooter, Neil Aguian Palermo, opened fire on both men. They survived the attack, but Aguian Palermo was eventually convicted of attempted murder and sentenced to 64 years to life in May of 2022. But things were just ramping up for the main 6 killers who had only truly just begun their operation.